How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Today we're taking a look because President Trump just talked to the Lordstown CEO talking about their vehicle, and the stock price for Lordstown and Workhorse went up dramatically very quickly. So I'm going to try to get through this all in one take because I want this to go out as quickly as possible. It's so interesting what happened. So Trump is in Ohio for his next debate. He's going to actually talk against Biden, and we have talked about this before that Trump really needs Ohio. Apparently, a Republican president has never actually won presidency without Ohio. So, don't quote me on that, but this is a very important spot for them to be able to get votes in. This is a very important state for them to swing the election. So, they are in Ohio for this debate. And Trump is going back to Lordstown. He's talked to them before. He has publicly endorsed them on Twitter. He's talked about how they were bringing jobs back to the area after buying a plant from GM. And I'm going to show you exactly what he says. It's very interesting. You can check it out on Facebook or just Google President Trump makes remarks regarding GM's Lordstown Motors plant. And we'll just see what he says here because it sent the stock up drastically. So at first he's just talking to the CEO, trying to get a little background on what they're doing here, but he'll talk to the group in just a moment.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is incredible. So this is a vehicle where essentially the engines, the motor's engines are in the wheels. They're in the wheels, in all four wheels. It's Lordstown, Ohio. They make them in Lordstown, Ohio. Senator Portman. We've been working on this very long and very hard because General Motors left the plant. This is a company that went in, and I guess General Motors is your partner, but they went in and they have an incredible vehicle. And you'll make how many a year when you get it going?
We'll make north of 100,000 once we get going.
And they've already started. But this is a really unique thing because the four wheels are, and you would call it a motor,
Hub motor, we call it.
it's called the hub motor. And this is the only one that does this in the world. And it has a lot of advantages. Maybe you explain it.
So then he kind of lets the CEO talk a little bit more about it and talk about the pros of having these hub motors, right? The traction control, the pros of having EV cars, and the fact that they will be able to produce them for cheaper later. They're going to be able to scale up. He's basically trying to endorse them, saying that, what they're doing is great. He's talking about how great the company is, trying to pull some support for him, bring back jobs to Ohio because it is an important state. And he's talking with the CEO, trying to understand what they're doing, which I don't blame him. There's a lot going on in the world. He probably doesn't know too much about Lordstown before right now, but it's very interesting. It brought a ton of attention to the stock. That's the important thing, that a lot of people watch what Trump does. A lot of people know kind of what he's doing in his campaign and trying to follow him. So you can see the stock price shot up when this happened. It shot up about 7% in just a couple minutes. And they were already up on the day. Same thing with Workhorse. Workhorse owns 10% stake in Lordstown. So they went up 7% on that. They're up 10 or 11% on the day, depending on when you're seeing this. This is one of those things where someone that is in the limelight talks about a small $3 billion company. It can bring a lot of attention to the stock and to the sector. So I think that this is quite amazing. I think we'll continue to see this going forward where Trump tries to kind of rally Ohio behind him and tries to bring more attention to these great American vehicle companies that are trying to innovate. And, I think that we'll continue to see the stock price go up. Now, that being said, there's always an inherent risk investing in these companies because these larger companies like GM and Ford are still going to fight back, right? They're not just going to lie down and, die off. They're going to try to produce EV cars and continue to try to innovate moving forward. And, I think that that's going to be an important battle back and forth between these EV companies and the typical traditional manufacturers. So let me know what you guys think about this. I would appreciate a thumbs up. I try to get this out as quickly as possible. If you guys want some free stocks, by the way, there is a link down to Webull in the description below where you can get 2 free stocks. This is only good for the next couple days. So on September 30, they're cutting off the 2 free stocks and only giving 1 free stock, but they're worth up to $1,600 each. But, I want to give this to you quickly. You can see the stocks going up even right now. And I do want to cover Workhorse more in depth later. I was actually filming a video on every single bullish point on Workhorse. So if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please hit subscribe. I'm doing that, and there's a ton of different points in there. There are about 18 points I'm covering. That will probably come out tomorrow. But it's a really interesting thing to look at because it's so easy to forget everything we have going for us with Workhorse, with Lordstown. There's so much that has come out over the last couple months and so much to be excited for. It's hard to remember everything. Now, where do I think the stock is going to go over the next day or two? That's kind of a crapshoot. So it's still going up like crazy now. A lot of people are seeing that Lordstown was brought up on the news, but I could definitely see this hitting $30 today. I mean, we're seeing it go up drastically right now. I think we'll continue to see it go up. Now, I'm not saying that you should buy in or sell or anything like that. We're still waiting on the USPS contract. We're still waiting to hear where that's going to go. But a lot of people think that Trump is going to announce it in the next couple of days, trying to get more support from Ohio. But, we don't really know what's going to happen. Some people are thinking end of the month. Some people are thinking mid-October. Some are thinking end of year. That's something that has yet to be determined. Personally, I did a video on when I will sell out of Workhorse and my expected return on Workhorse, what I think we'll actually get up to, what it would take to get to a $100 stock. I think we could definitely see that by the end of the year. Now, if there is a potential short squeeze, or if the short squeeze actually happens, they are a highly shorted stock. So if they come out with some news that they got the USPS contract, a majority or just a large portion, I could definitely see it going up to $100 a share. Now, they are shorted about 20% right now. So, there is a huge potential for this. But, this is a highly risky stock. Again, a lot of people are bullish over the long term, but you're also banking on the fact that they can get into other industries. They've talked about refrigeration. They've talked about growing their drones and being able to sell more drones. So their vehicle right now is integrated with a drone, but being able to scale up that side of the business, that's going to be really important going forward too, if they really want to be able to produce the numbers that they're going to have to if they get up to a $100 stock. Now, let me know your thoughts below. I'd love to hear it. Again, this is just a massive move. We're going to see a lot of volatility throughout the day. Probably people selling off right now too. You can see that a couple of percent down now. But people are going to sell off because it's going back up. People are going to buy in because it's going back down. People are going to go and buy more when they see Trump talking about it. It's going to be very volatile, so don't be surprised if over the next week it's up 20% or down 20%. I still have a sell order, a stop loss set at about $18 a share. That's about 10% below my cost basis. I'm really comfortable with that. I thought that we weren't going to get down very far before if we didn't get bad news from the USPS contract, but we went down to $22 a share or $21 a share, and we've seen that go down, but that's because there are a lot of newer investors that are kind of worried about what's going to happen with the stock. But personally, I'm not selling unless it drops drastically or we get news on the USPS deal. So let me know your thoughts below. Like I said, let me know what you think about Trump talking about this. It was pretty interesting. If you want to go see the longer version of it, he goes back and forth with the CEO and with a couple, I think it's engineers in the company, talking about their technology, talking about what they'll be able to get up to in numbers. And it's something that I definitely think you should check out if you haven't already checked it out and you're looking at investing or you are an investor. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching the video, for hitting the like button, for checking out those links below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.